back to my discussion here in studio, and I want us to talk about independent candidates. It seems that we're going to have quite a number of those, but you have people who lose. Maybe they lose fair and square, but they're not taking it lying down. Jessy, what is going to be the impact of having so many independent candidates?
I think the next parliament is going to be one interesting parliament to look at. We are going to actually have three factions of parliament. We are going to have the NASA coalition MPs. We are going to have the Jubilee Party MPs. And then in the other corner, we're going to have independents. This is informed by the fact that we are going to have so many independent candidates, in that some are dissatisfied with the way the party primaries were handled, and some did not even subject themselves to the party nominations, and therefore they're just going as independent candidates. And there is also high probability we are going to have several governors elected as independent candidates because of the party fallouts. They might have been rigged out, or so to speak, according to their case, or they might have actually been defeated. But then the reason why we are going to have so many independents, the political dynamics in Kenya are changing, in that we are coming out of the big man syndrome, where the party leader or the party chooses the parliamentary aspirants for you, senatorial aspirants for you, and MCS for you. Kenyans are telling the party leaders now the big man syndrome has to come to an end. We are going to give you our vote for the presidency or for whatever position you're going for. But when it comes to the other smaller seats, we are going to decide. So you can't give us somebody that you want as a party, but we are not going to vote for this person in this party. Good case study was the ODM nominations in Migori for gubernatorial. The person who was allegedly to have won, that is the current governor, Oduor-Advocate, was not given the certificate. And he decamped to a little non-PDP party and still came back as a governor. The same thing to Muhoroni MP, Kowin. He came in as a Ford Kenya. So it's going to be a very interesting parliament and elections to watch.
All right. Oburu, your take on that, the impact of independent candidates, so many of them, when it comes to legislation.
Well, thank you, Betty. What I'd say is, first to the people who actually feel aggrieved, these candidates, my heart bleeds for them, because somebody invests so much, and in that process, they invest financially and they invest emotion. Now, they suddenly feel that the process is not fair to them. And from talking to some people are genuinely aggrieved. But then there's also the bigger part of people, where they say, because everybody's winning. There's no one who's lost, right? So there's a big chunk of people who haven't won, but they just want, say, because Jaoko, why don't you just fix it? So somebody like that is not genuine. But now it's time that as Kenyans now, we have to appreciate their weaknesses in the process. And if somebody goes independent, if they're genuine, the people will actually vote them in. So that will happen. But now then we come back and let's start talking about what to do so that it does not happen again next time. Just like our governance system is improving every time and again, we have to look at this process genuinely, and so that when somebody says we want free and fair, we agree this is what free and fair is. And the aspirants right now are the people who have the hands-on experience, actually, who can help to make this work as part of it.
Just to add to that, Betty, you realize actually what you've asked your colleague there was at Jubilee headquarters. I mean, it doesn't make any logic if a tribunal can handle 50 cases in a day. We know how proceedings are conducted. We know there's so much evidence, and there are so many things that are filed within just one petition alone.
And it's an election.
It's
so
an election
serious.
petition. It's something so serious. As Jaoko says, people have used resources. They have invested emotions and a lot of time to this. And then now, calling 50 petitions per day, that means in one petition you're going to take less than 10 minutes. How do you reach a conclusive decision?
How is that?
How is that even
Jessy,
practical?
how is that possible? Because 50 a day.
From where I stand, of course, I pity my colleagues who are handling them because the pressure is too much. Those are my colleagues, they are advocates. I don't want to do that because not even that.
No,
first, the problem is with the parties themselves. IBC gave them guidelines to beat. Then why would they have to wait until the very last minute? Of course, Kenyans are last-minute people. But then something so vital and integral as this, why would you wait for last minute? And therefore, these aspirants who are going to run on this ballot are justified because even the tribunal itself, it's a fracas. It's just the way we put it, it's a therapeutic way of laying people down.
It's therapeutic to ease the pain.
To ease the pain so that we lay you down slowly.
So it's not really genuine.
To a large extent, it's not really genuine. 50 cases in a day, really, Betty. What are you doing? 10 minutes per petition? And then the good thing with the next parliament, just to add, with regard to the independent members of parliament who are going to be elected, at least these are people who don't owe party loyalty to anyone. These are people we expect are going to vote with their conscience. They are not going to be roughed up and that this is the party line, you have to tolerate the line. So I hope they are going to save the Kenyans and tell the establishment that this is what the people want and speak with a clear mind.
Okay, interesting. So I want us to move the conversation from the nominations and talk about NASA. So there have been quite a number of reactions, diverse, reactions from the parties, from the supporters, from Jubilee, the president and his deputy. Very interesting reactions in the last couple of days. And this lineup has been described by some people that there was zero surprise element, that it's not really something new. It's the same thing. And even the deputy president said that, it's the same thing. So, you cannot do the same thing so many times and then expect anything to change. I don't know what you're feeling. Is this about it? And we're going to be talking about that meeting they're having in Kilifi.
I think the deputy president has to come back to reality. It might be the same thing, but then the dynamics of our political landscape in Kenya has changed. Jubilee went to last elections with part of Ukambani in the name of Charity Ngilu. She's no longer there. Right now, they had a grip of Kisii. Kisii is a family, or so to speak, is not even a battleground. That is a NASA zone. Mombasa has already been neutralized. So this team comes on board even with a chunk of the lower South Rift in the name of Isaac Ruto. So if the Jubilee people think that it's the same lineup, then you have to ask yourself a question after the lineup, why the president had to leave other things with the deputy and organize a quick rally in Githurai to come and revert that. If it was non-consequential, then they will have just sat pretty. And first, even for them to comment about it, it means they are scared. They have to go back to the drawing board. But isn't it
just politics where you have to say something at the end of the day?
It's not about, if something is consequential, you don't have to even talk about it. You give it a contempt card. The moment you talk about it, it means something. You're giving it prominence, and to some extent, it's affecting you. Yes.
Interesting, Jaoko. What is your thought about this lineup? Being described as zero surprise element to it.
Thank you, Betsy. You see, the politics of today is more issue-based. The things that Kenyans are genuinely concerned about. Yesterday, on Labor Day, there was a lot of shouting for unga, njaa. These things we have to listen to. It doesn't matter who is in NASA as what we have, the summit there. It did not matter who was going to be the flag bearer, because Kenyans were genuinely looking at somebody who they trust, who can actually address these things for them. I tell you, Betty, in 2013, when Jubilee won, I was with the Prime Minister, and he said, look, there's another day for it. And, while it was a difficult thing to swallow for us, we swallowed it and we moved on. And we said, give Jubilee a chance to lead. And now, somewhere along the way, issues started coming, corruption issues and all these things that Kenyans are now crying about. So I can say that while you can dismiss that it's the same whole thing, but you do only do that at your own peril. Because Kenyans are determined that they want change, and the sooner the Jubilee also accepts that, and also many politicians, instead of dividing the country, we come together and let's talk to our people in such a way that we promote peace. Elections is just a contest on governance.
A big one,
yeah,
though.
yeah, it's a big contest. Yeah. But you see, it's not about that now my person is there or your person is there. You know, when Baba, they say, gets to power, I don't expect that because I'm his son, I go there and I'm getting favors. No, in fact, you know, in our upbringing, me myself, in our Odinga family, that's not what we're all about. Even Jaramogi, during his days, I'm telling you, in his home, first the gate is open all the time, and anybody comes there. And when food's on the table, you eat first, you take yours first, and then me as the mwenyeji wa nyumbani, I take. So this is what this is why Raila appeals to so many Kenyans, because
but what will it take
about that.
for NASA to clinch the presidency? What will it take? This meeting that they're having, of course, they're going to be having very many meetings, strategy meetings, but it's not easy to unseat President Uhuru Kenyatta. He said it before.
Yes.
What is it going to take NASA to do so?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not in Mombasa, but
I'm sure you have some
but,
inside information.
What I can say that, you know, okay, one, if you look at even there, you were in Uhuru Park on Thursday last week.
Yeah.
You saw how Kenyans came. Nobody's transported from anywhere. Generally come because they feel there's something there for them. Now, to translate those into votes, we have to, like when we talk about NASA Young Turks, so the Young Turks have decided, and these are many young leaders. Our patron is Jonathan Mweke, Deputy Governor here, and I'm the chairman. And then we have many other leaders from all over the country who are determined to get the vote out. So it's a must that we make sure that every Kenyan comes out on that day and votes. As we're mobilizing voters, not necessarily that, and there are some people out there, they will tell you, I helped them get an ID, not because they were ODM or COD or NASA, but because it is important that they express that vote. We don't want people, this country falling apart because of elections. Now, then you come to IEBC and our trust, which is called BMM, Bado Mapambano Movement, actually took IEBC to court. We have a couple of cases where we're enjoined with Okia Mtata. Now, the main case that we took, apart from the one where the extension, there was that extension for the what is this? Voter registration. Remember, there's a voter registration exercise because the date was not quite there yet, but they were trying to stop it. We went to court to challenge what people have been calling manual voting. Right? Actually, the law allowed that the IEBC, in the event that the electronic system would fail, the IEBC could use introduce an alternative kind of a system. So we've gone to court to ask, what is this alternative system? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that Mr. Chebukati, and I went and met them there with the CEO and all. And the purpose that we went there was just, as young Kenyans, to also express our view that a lot rests on him. He has to make sure that this country, and so that he, whatever his predecessors have had, he clears that, because everybody is so suspicious about this IEBC, but it lies there, because now when you go and you vote, whether it's manual or it's electronic, it should count.
It should count.
It should count, so
Your
that
vote
at the end of the
should
day,
be-
whoever wins,
Yeah.
wins, people shake hands, and we get back to building our country.
All right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
this is-
Just I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Now with the introduction of, not even introduction, Isaac Ruto now is part of the Pentagon.
Yeah.
What does that say? What does that imply? What is the impact of that? Will it be easier to clinch this coveted seat?
I think, as Jaoko clearly started well, when it comes to issues first, the Jubilee, the way Isaac Ruto puts it, it's pro-accumulation. And then NASA is coming in with the idea of wananchi. The unga thing, the school fees thing, the famine is there, water and
Things
all
that
that there.
affect
Things that affect the common
Kenya.
wananchi.
Yeah.
Jubilee are telling us about international investment. Kenyans don't want to listen to that international investment. I mean, we all know the scandal of SGR and all that thing. Chinese coming to do physical studies, doing the mapping, doing everything and learning. They're doing their own things in our country. So those things are not affecting the common wananchi. Isaac Ruto, politics is about perception. So when Isaac Ruto comes into the NASA Pentagon, there is that national outlook that he comes with. The people of Rift Valley, more so the South Rift, the Kipsigis, are going to see this is our guy, is in there. So as opposed to NASA lineup with Jubilee, Jubilee is a two-man affair. It's about the deputy president and the president, which is actually replicated in the appointments, right from cabinet secretary to parastatals to every other seat that we have in this country. Now, NASA is coming up with a different idea and telling you, look, this is the face of Kenya. We are going to form an all-inclusive government and not about two tribes. We are ready to work with everyone else like-minded on board. And then Isaac Ruto has packaged himself over the years, for the last 4 years, as being the chair of the Council of Governors, as the first defender of devolution. Mwananchi wants to hear devolution. Some parts of this country have seen the first tarmac road in the counties, like Turkana, because of devolution. They have never seen a doctor. They're only used to nurses and the CEOs. They have seen a doctor for the first time because of devolution. So as much as devolution might have short pitfalls, we might have the missteps, tethering problems, but then it has impacted the life of the common Mwananchi down there.
Right.
So Isaac Ruto comes with that, and it's very easy for him to resonate with the person at the grassroots level, the machinani guy, and tell them, look, listen, this is what revolution has done to you. You have now running taps. You have good roads. Your children are going to school near you.
Yes.
You have good medical facilities. And then now here comes the other team, Jubilee, where they believe that everything should be run from the central government. Even releasing the funds from the exchequer to the counties, it has to be a matter of court cases and court orders for that to be done. So Isaac Ruto brings that devolution card and the national appeal of the NASA group here.
Allow me one to also just support. Remember, from there's the way Raila Odinga, from the time when he joined with Moi and in that cooperation. And then New Kanu. So that politics was always about bringing people together. You want everybody to participate, the whole country to participate. And you've noticed that all the way to the NAC Dream and the Pentagon now, again, Pentagon 2.
Pentagon 2, but without a woman. Where's the woman there? Interesting conversation,
But
finally,
I think
as we wind up.
as much as there is no woman there, I'm sure NASA stands for women empowerment.
Surely.
I'm saying this, Betty, out of fact. I realize when Parliament did not pass the gender bill, Raila was the first person to come and say Parliament has let Kenyans down.
With Rosemary, they went to...
So that was a big statement for them. And you actually look at the way they have nominated women to Parliament and all that stuff. But then we wish them well, but we hope they're going to include a woman so that at least the gender factor comes into play.
Women, come forward, come forward.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. Well, I have been speaking to Jessy Oduor, who is a lawyer and a political analyst, and also Jaoko Oburu, who is the chair for the NASA Young Turks. He's also a political analyst. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
All right, so we'll take a break here on News Center, but we're coming back to continue with our coverage. Remember, we're still following up with what's happening in Kwale. Our Francis Antoma is going to be updating us shortly about that. Also, we're following keenly what's happening at the Jubilee headquarters. Remember that today we're expecting a verdict in regards to the Maina commander versus Charles Jaguar, aka Jaguar. Remember that case in regards to the primaries. We'll be getting to hear what the verdict will be. All right, so we'll take a break here on News Center, but we're coming back in a few minutes to continue with our second hour. Don't go away. Thank you so much.